Welcome to Daggers and Shadow Daddies.
We're your hosts, Ryan and Adriana.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Quick disclaimer, this is a reread for Fourth Wing and Iron Flame as we prepare for the book Onyx Storm. Spoilers ahead. I feel so dumb not picking up on this the first time that we read this series, that Brennan and Naolin are a couple.
Yeah, I think they're fucking.
Yeah.
Or they were. Yeah.
I didn't know this. I felt so dumb. It was like and they were roommates type of moment of like, what?
Just reminds me.
I was so clueless. I'm like, yep, just Brennan and this other dude. He's willing to risk his life to save him. Totally besties. And that's all they are and nothing more.
Well, they talk about the elevation of these places, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times. Would you say that it's a mountainous area?
Yeah.
Brennan can heal backs.
Oh my God.
They were broken.
Stop.
On a mountain.
The setup for that. Get out of
so
here.
Weak. So weak. All I'm saying is Brokeback Brennan.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
Everybody's seen that film.
Well, even Violet kind of mentions it. She's just like, I don't know what's going on between you guys almost, but I'm not going to think about it right now. Overall, I hope that they touch on this some more, because the sacrifice that Naolin gave for Brennan...
It's an incredible love story.
Incredible, and they just don't touch on this, and it's so brief, because the first time going through, I said this several times, I was devouring the content of, I want to know the rest of the story. Brennan and Naolin, not enough information there for me to even care. Yes, he's alive. Now give me more information of what's happening next, kind of thing. And then this time, I'm just like, I'm so fucking dumb. They're a couple. And he lost the love of his life. And I think even Violet says something that hurts his feelings, that he lost. Oh, I remember what it was. That she said something about him not having a family or kids or anything like that.
She asks if he has them.
Yeah.
She does not say, you loser, you don't have a family or kids or anything.
Yeah.
She says, do you have a secret family or kids or anything? I don't know you. And he's like, no family, no kids.
But he was also sad in the moment of just...
missing his dink lifestyle, you know?
Yeah. I thought you
now he's in that sink lifestyle.
I thought you said twink. I'm like, Ryan, that's so offensive.
Yeah, no.
You said dink.
And you thought twink.
I couldn't figure out what you were saying. But it's so sad that he lost the love of his life. And I guess it's fair that Violet doesn't acknowledge it.
We're inferring all of this. I want to make this super clear.
Yeah.
I do agree with you, but it is not explicitly said.
No, we just make up our own stories.
This is all inference. But it is said.
Yeah, but it makes sense that she wouldn't acknowledge Brennan losing his partner. And I think she wasn't fully sure that was his partner. She just kind of was like, I think there's something there to that. But again, Brennan's not opening up about it.
So here's the thing. I don't want to rain on your moment here. I proposed this 5 episodes ago. 5 or 6. Because some of them are 2-parters. It gets hard.
You can tell that I don't listen.
No, you're doing great. To be fair, I propose a lot of things that are never coming true.
Well, it was very obvious this time that they're a couple and that Naolin gave up his life. And, also on this note, Xaden doesn't like Brennan.
Yeah.
But Brennan says she's never liked me. So I don't think that Xaden doesn't like Brennan because he got Naolin killed, which then affected Tarin. I think that Xaden didn't like him because of his relationship with Naolin of some kind. Something with their relationship is why Xaden doesn't like Brennan.
No, here's the theory. Maybe it's because it made Tarin weaker, right? The relationship that Tarin and Xaden have is also strengthened by Violet and Xaden's relationship.
That's not a reason that Xaden wouldn't like Brennan.
It would be more dangerous for Tarin. Tarin's rider is Naolin, super powerful dude. He's got this weak-ass red dragon. She doesn't trust him. right? The red dragons are shifty.
No, it's the orange dragons that are shifty.
The orange dragons are stupid, I thought.
They might be, but they are paired with two huge assholes in this story. We haven't met an orange dragon that is with a good character.
That's true. All right. You know what? My theory's wrong.
I don't know. I think there was something about their relationship before that Sigale does not like Brennan for a long time, and now she especially doesn't like him because he's part of the reason that Naolin's dead. Oh, goodness. We better get more information about their relationship and Violet getting to know Brennan more to hear his side of the story.
Brennan doesn't come off like an oversharer.
He doesn't, actually.
To be fair.
Well, even his whole thing with talking to Violet of why he did what he did. He's like, well, I thought you had Dad. And she's like, well, we fucking didn't. He just kind of has this lack of understanding. Even though, no, how do I want to word it?
But in fairness, in this moment, I wanted to touch on this also. They both have a real lack of communication ability here. If he thought that your dad was alive, this is how you tell him that his goddamn dad is dead? We didn't. He's dead too. What the fuck? It's a terrible way to get that news also.
Given Brennan's reaction, I think Brennan already knew that their dad died. But if Naolin turns out to be alive, Brennan is going to experience what Violet and Mira experienced.
What do you mean? Oh, in the aspect of he came back to life. Yeah, I see what you mean.
It was keeping it a secret.
Well, I was thinking also what Violet's about to experience. If Naolin is alive, he's venom, right? Violet's going to have to love Xaden through his creepy eyes. You know what I mean?
The gold flecked and a touch of red ring.
In a black eye. These are getting complicated. I want to see the fan artists, just how much time they're spending on the eyes.
It just looks like the Kodak flash red eyes.
Give them a red eye. That's awesome.
Oh, goodness. I really enjoy that Iron Flame starts off at the very last part of Fourth Wing. There isn't this whole like summer vacation and then they kind of do like a little recap of what has happened in between both books. It is in the next breath. This is the next scene. Like
what books are you reading that are like summer vacation? Back to the war. Were your expectation was that they would just skip months? That's wild.
Yeah, I did.
Did Akatar do something like that? I don't think so. Well, it kind of did.
It did.
It kind of did. You're right.
It did do that between...
You're right. I was totally wrong.
Between
that's so dumb.
Thorns and Roses and Mist and Fury. There were months in between because it skips to her like severely depressed or something like that.
You're 100% right. I was so ready to roast you. Never mind. You're right.
But they don't do that in this one. It's as if it just dives right into the next chapter.
So you think the next book is like Xaden immediately being like, my eyes are a little dry.
It took me a second to realize what you were saying because it ends with the red ring in his eyes, and that's the end of the book.
How cool would it be if it started and they're like, oh my god, he's venom, and he's like, no, I'm just really allergic to hay. And it's starting to get to him. That would be sick.
Well,
if it was just a complete misdirection.
Barlow had red ring in his eyes for nearly all of Fourth Wing. I don't know.
Barlow was venom the entire time of Fourth Wing.
Yeah, but no one questioned the dude with red ring eyes. I didn't, I guess. When we first read it, I was clueless, and she described his eyes that way the whole time.
That's true. We didn't know that was a cue that they would be venom yet. Initially. You're supposed to be able to think back on it, I think. Actually, maybe it's just intended for the reread.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
Starts with, she's having breakfast with her brother. His new name is said. I didn't write it down, but it was...
right.
Yeah, there we go. She can't reach Andarna, and her door is no longer gold.
Yeah, how's this not a hint to her that the dragon's changing colors, by the way?
I think that was a hint to her, and she's like, something's up, and no one's telling me.
Know the color of this dragon by the color of the door. And she's like, in the light, it looks different, blah, blah, blah. And I can understand that. But what about within the archives? What color does the door appear to be? Because you wouldn't have a light effect in your mental place your little mental palace where the doors and the color of the doors tells you the color of the dragon.
I do think that Andarna scales can impact Violet's mental headspace of how she's visualizing Andarna. I don't think that it's necessarily how Violet interprets it. I think it is just that is a literal bond between them, and that is the color of it. It's not an interpretation of the color. That is the color.
Yeah, I'm totally on board.
And
That's what I'm saying. How does she not address the color that she is?
She was very confused then. The signs are there. Violet isn't certain on her being black.
No, you're right. But she's almost certain that she isn't, because it's not the same color as Tarin's door.
Yeah.
We get into some weird stuff. And with the dragons, I have so many questions in general,
like their dens. There was also a point where we learn about the dens on the origins of the hatching grounds and Besgaeth, Navarre, all of that. We learned that the red dragons were the only den at the current hatching grounds, and they opened it up for all of the dragons to be there to protect each other as a species.
Yeah, which was a boss move, right? We also know how many more black dragons were born this year.
Oh, we do? What?
I think it was 2, maybe 3 black dragons hatched this year.
Oh.
Which is pretty rad. But how are they black dragons? We don't get into that at all.
Yeah, because
we only have male black dragons left. Is it the dude determines the color of the dragon?
No, there could be more black dragons. The Empyrean is very tight-lipped about this. In Tarin and Coda, Tarin doesn't share information with us about this.
Ironically, they're lizards, so they don't have lips.
Well, they don't share information about other dragons in their den. There could be significantly more than we'll ever know.
There could be, but I'm saying black dragons are the rarest, is what we're told by what's-his-face.
Yes,
right?
But there could be...
And there's only one other bonded black dragon, and that's Coda.
And he could have a girlfriend. He could have multiple girlfriends. We don't know. I don't know.
He could have boyfriends. We're not here to put him into any sort of box.
Wait, we're getting off topic. We were talking about chapter 1.
That doesn't sound like
and Andarna. Oh, yeah, that's right. And Andarna, her door is different. Then Violet starts eavesdropping on the assembly meeting. She's turned on watching Xaden in this meeting. Just, despite her feelings of betrayal, she's like, he's still hot.
He's so sexy. The way he betrays me is not that big of a deal.
I think I can
get over that.
I think.
And I love the way that Brennan is defending her, right? In this meeting. And Brennan gets no attention for this at all.
Oh, I don't remember him really defending. I thought it was mostly Xaden saying, what is it called? Oh, I stand for her? No, that's not the term. She's my responsibility.
Yeah, which is a little weird. It's kind of like he brought a dog home. And they're like, you can't keep it. And he's like, I've already named it. It's here. I'll clean up after it and feed it. Don't worry. And they're like, what if it pisses on the rug? And he's like, I'll clean it up. It's fine.
That's actually exactly what it was. Because if she fucks up, he takes the fall for it.
Yeah. And they're like, but it's a pit bull. And then this is where Brennan comes in and he's like, listen, I'm also a pit bull. And they're like, yeah, but you've been in the house and not chewed on the rugs and pissed on the carpet and all that. And you've proven that you're a good dog. And he's like, motherfucker, she could be a good dog too. We just got to give her
She's
a chance. My sister dog. And they're like, yeah, but your mom really liked pissing on rugs. I think that really weird. And the analogy didn't carry well, but you see what I'm saying?
It shockingly did.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, they're really worried about Violet peeing on the rug. That's the moral of the story. And 3 of them are like, she's pretty rad. We're going to keep her around. And then the other ones are like, I don't know. She could ruin everything. They're like, well, if we kill her, then we're really fucked.
There's one character, I didn't write his name, but I like the way that he addressed it.
The grizzled guy?
Yeah, he addressed her betrayal with Dain, and he approached it with empathy, of understanding. That is your best friend. We are aware of that, and we don't fault you for being tricked by Dain.
Basically, he's like, who among us could really handle somebody who could read memories, let alone one that you trust and have known since child?
Yeah.
It's like, so she was so betrayed on so many levels. You can't fault her for this. And he's one of the ones that I'm saying is like, hey, listen, her mom may pee on the rug. She seems well trained. Like, Yeah, okay, she had an accident, but she was left in the house for 10 hours. Like, where was she supposed to be?
Are you going to carry this analogy through the rest of this?
The entire book.
No one is going to understand.
The entire book.
When we start referencing Violet pissing on the rug.
I can't even remember what kind of dog I said they were, but they're stereotypically one that's not allowed in apartment buildings.
Pit bull.
Okay, yeah, pit bulls. Yeah, they're pit bulls. And Brennan's like, listen, she's my sister. Fuck you. And to an extent, Xaden's like, well, it's my house. I get to bring the dog in. That's kind of the more...
My house, my rules.
Yeah, which seems like an odd thing because there are 7 of them and only, 5 required to be a quorum, I think?
Yeah, there was something like that. It's difficult to have these meetings because they require so many people to be at them.
And it's an open door policy.
Yes. Other than Violet, the door needed to be closed for that one is what I got from it.
But she's not a part of their group. Any part of the rebellion is welcome in their meetings. And she's not yet a part of the rebellion.
In this meeting, we learned that they need a forge. They are short a luminary. I don't quite remember what a luminary is. Is that what's making the weapons for them?
So I think the luminary is the thing that allows I think it's like a rune or something like that allows the forge to work. I don't quite remember how this works. I know they go get it from King Creepy.
Yeah, it's Viscount Tecarus.
Yeah, but really he's the Pormirish king, more or less.
I think so.
I don't understand Viscounts and Dukes and all that stuff. I'm not European enough.
And this is Kat's uncle, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Kat and what's the other one's name?
I already forgot it. Serena?
Yeah, Serena. There we go. I remember because it's like Serena Williams also has a sister who I can't remember her name.
Oh, you're just like, I know a Serena that has a sister.
Serena Williams is very strong and tough. It makes total sense.
Those are cousins.
What?
Serena and Kat are cousins.
Sisters. It's referenced Serena and her sister.
You're right.
They're sisters.
You're right.
Just Serena's the big tough one. It would remind me of, who's that Olympian lady that's everywhere now? She's very strong and cool.
Iona?
Probably. Her last name starts with an M or an R or an H or no. I don't know. But she was on Dancing with the Stars and she's very tough. She's super strong, but also amazing femininely.
Oh, is that how you picture Serena?
Yes, only also I imagine she is a person of color. I think because of Serena Williams. And she is also, do you know what Serena Williams looks like?
Yes.
Okay. Then you see what I'm saying. Like, I picture her like that. Like either one of those ladies where she's like, she could fuck you up. And she's still feminine, but in a very strong way.
I love it. We're going to go with that. Serena.
Kat does not look like that, though. Kat looks like blonde Audrey Hepburn.
No.
Very dainty.
In my head, Kat looks like she played Black Widow.
Scarlett Johansson?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. This is what you're going for.
Incredibly attractive, fun personality, and threatening in every way. That is Kat.
Where's
and
Kat
her.
Shown to have a fun personality.
Okay, maybe not a fun one. Like if I was like celebrity level beautiful.
You are.
Why, thank you. But I would still be threatened by Scarlett Johansson.
I don't think you have anything to be threatened by right now.
Well, obviously not because she's not in the room with us, but if she was.
if she were sitting right there, my attention would still be here.
Yeah.
Command.
Yeah, you got some good peripherals though.
Killing me.
I would actually sit her next to you so then I could enjoy her company also.
And it would be real obvious if I'm looking over, involving her in the conversation. So what do you think about Kat? Yeah, see, no, I imagine Kat to be more dainty, not an overly sexual, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll see how the rest of this book goes because I think you have some misconceptions about Kat.
I think I must.
I think the only difference is height. I think Kat is taller for some reason in my head.
Taller than whom?
Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, how tall is Scarlett Johansson? Isn't she like 5'8"?
No, I thought she was like 5'3".
Oh, I did not know that actually. She looks like a tall person. I don't know why I say that.
Yeah, she's 5'3".
Oh my God, I had no idea. That's crazy. All right.
But I just pictured Kat taller than Violet, just this tall, beautiful model-like woman that just looks down on her, not only figuratively, but also literally.
I was going to say, when you went with tall, beautiful woman, I like that you were like, she must be taller than 5'3" to be a smoke show. And you're like, no, I see what you're saying.
I just meant it as She's threatening in every
She's
way.
imposing.
And she also literally looks down on Violet.
So she's like 6'2" in your head?
No, 5'8".
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Imposing, but just to Violet.
Yes.
Because Violet is 5'4".
But yet shorter than Xaden.
Which Xaden is 6'4". So he is... It just doesn't make... You're right. 5'8" is shorter than Xaden and taller than Violet. It 100% works. Yeah. You're looking up, see how tall Xaden is.
It's written in such a way.
He
I
is
think it's
4 inches more than 6 feet is the way it is worded in the book.
Okay, that's exactly what this says. That's a weird way to say it.
Yeah, no, I remember because I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get to do some math. And then that part came up and I'm like, well, we could have just said 6'4", but she's like, he's 4 inches taller than 6 feet. And I'm like, that's amazing. Because that's my go-to is I'm 16 inches taller than 5 feet.
Yeah, classic way of measuring. Well, what I do when I'm trying to figure the height of things, I always just picture you laying down on the ground. And then if I see somebody else, I can't figure it out. I just picture you both laying down on the ground next to each other and trying to figure out.
Sometimes are we cuddling? Is it just another man and I
no,
sharing a nice embrace?
You both have your arms down on your sides.
Oh, mummy style? Am I alive? Or do you picture me dead on the ground?
No, you're alive. You're just sitting or laying down very still. That's how I try to picture also distances. I don't know what 12 feet away is, so I just picture 2 of you in a row.
I don't want to brag, but to get you closer to 13 feet. I'm just teasing. I'm just fucking with you.
Wait, we're getting so off track.
Are we?
We're supposed to be talking about this meeting. Okay, and this is the chapter. I'm just putting us back onto track.
Please do. I am so out there today.
We have 9 chapters to get through.
Holy
and
Christ. We're 3 into them?
No, we're 1 chapter in. Did you have any other information on their meeting that they had?
It wouldn't matter how many people they recruited. They don't have enough weapons to arm them to fight people. They discuss whether or not to allow Violet and them back to Bezgaeth. And basically, Xaden and Brennan, I think, say it's not fucking up to you. They need to go back. And they're like, yeah, but then they'll find out our secrets, blah, blah, blah. And Xaden's like, not if I teach her to shield properly and all this stuff. He then puts no effort into teaching her how to shield better. They immediately go back to Bezgaeth. He does not, on the ride even, like, we don't cover any part where he's like, all right, this is how we're going to build up our shields a little better. Tarin, however, does a great job.
That's what I was just going to say. Tarin does it.
Yeah, Tarin's amazing. He's the best. I love Tarin.
So chapter 1 ends with that whole conversation. I realized I would still be in paralysis if I found out that my brother was actually alive and would not be recovering so quickly like Violet is. Chapter 2 is her having the talk with Brennan about how he's still alive. She wonders to herself if Naolin is more than just Tarin's previous rider to Brennan. That was that moment. She's like, I wonder if there's something a little more.
Then she digs into it deeply and figures out the answer, so it's satisfying for us as a reader.
Not yet.
Oh, she doesn't. ADD Sherlock Holmes, you're at it again.
In the last book, you wondered where Brennan's dragon was at. His dragon is in a valley, which is an old hatching ground near the Riorson house. And that is where all of their dragons are at right now.
I missed that again, the second time.
What do you mean?
I didn't pick up on it the second time, where Brennan's dragon was.
Oh, yeah.
I asked this question before we started the reread, and even after the reread here in these chapters, I didn't pick it.
No. Yeah, so there's an old hatching ground. And I think that's part of why the Venin are trying to get to this area, because of the magic that is still in this old hatching ground.
The old hatching ground.
But that's where all the dragons are at right now.
Cute.
The Venin are coming from the Barrens, and they're draining the lands of the magic and going from city to city. And this is the moment when she reflects on the wyvern details in the fables and that they are made by Venin. It wasn't during the fight, because that was upsetting to you last time. You're like, wait, I thought she knew this because she's already read the fables. Why doesn't she know that the wyvern are made from Venin? She doesn't take a moment to think about it, which I do not blame her.
No, high stress situation.
Exactly.
Makes total sense. You don't take time to read the owner's manual in your vehicle while it's exploding.
Exactly. But
feel
this is when she thinks about it. She's like, oh, well, actually, we can use the fables as a way to learn about wyvern and Venin. They discuss the alloy is used to kill the Venin, and it's the same thing that is used to extend their wards. my understanding to wrap my head around this is that it's like Wi-Fi extension.
Okay. I'm trying to understand where this is the same for you. Are you saying a little bit of ward energy is in the alloy? Is that what you're getting?
I think these alloys are like Wi-Fi extensions because they have a ward and then they can extend the wards with these alloys.
I see what you're saying. So I kind of agree with you in the sense of, I think whatever this alloy is, first of all, they keep calling it alloy, right? But all an alloy is a combination of metals, right? Like aluminum alloy means that it's not pure aluminum. All of these, it doesn't, okay. Oh man, we're not going to get into Ryan's metallurgy corner because I also don't know enough about metallurgy to talk about it as much as I want to.
It did help us in the last series because we talked about certain types of metals and how the Fae were
unafflicted.
You're like, this doesn't make sense. How can they drink water? And things like that. And I'm like, Ryan, you're so pedantic. Turns out you were fucking right.
Well, and this is where I don't know if Rebecca Yarros is going to address what this alloy is, or if they just keep saying we need alloy, because it could be any kind of an alloy from the way they're talking about it. It must be something specific, and whatever that alloy is, I think must have similar properties to the wardstone, right? Because the wardstone is able to emanate the wards, and then the alloy is able to more or less be a conduit, is what I see it as.
That would make sense because the wardstone is very specific in how it can be activated.
Right.
So it is rare.
And in order to use the forge, you need, oh my God, that's what it is. You need the luminary because that intensifies the heat to forge the alloy weapons because it's hotter than dragon fire.
Right. Oh, and in our last book, I was wondering what is motivating the Venin to do this. Do they think that they're the actual victims in the story or something like that? No, it's because they're attacking for more power from the ground, or they're just trying to gain all the power, which is what you said at the time. I just felt really dumb when...
I think you could still be right, weirdly. Both things can be true.
Like they have some other motive? I just took it as...
Their motive could be like they were wronged. These other people shouldn't have power because those people are the baddies. Like they're like the Dragon Riders are an abusive group of people.
Well,
Fuck them.
I think according to the fables, it is just power hungry motivation.
Right, but the fables written... Well, okay, this is the other weird thing, right? We have the Venin fables. Which brother turned Venin? It was the scribe brother that turned Venin. And then this was written after, but most of these things are recorded by scribes. How do we know this information isn't a little... You know what I mean?
I think the Fables book is the oldest book that they get access to for nearly this whole book until they obviously go on their little adventure later. But even the books that Jasenia brings to her, I note later that they're only a couple hundred years old max.
And they're flawed. Remember, What's-His-Face recorded things incorrectly specifically to fuck up the information.
Yeah.
The original 6 is bullshit. Spoilers, again. The whole podcast, really. Spoilers.
You were warned long ago.
You've been warned a few times.
Yeah, and this is when Violet notes that the scribes are withholding information. She talks about another wardstone, and others think the luminary for melting alloy for the weapons is better than trying to build wards. Violet obviously disagrees. She's just like, the answers are in the archives. Even if the scribes are lying and manipulating things, the information is there. We just have to find it. And I think this is a good representation of what Violet brings to the table, because everyone keeps trying to be secret and hide and secret and hide, and Violet is trying to uncover and unearth all of this madness to come up with answers. And I think even later when the revolution really begins, it's because of Violet.
Well, yeah, I would say Violet is aware of it. They aren't the only ones keeping secrets. Like, she's keeping in mind that, okay, yeah, so we have secrets. They also have secrets. It's the CIA being aware of the KGB, right? If you just pretend like the CIA is the only secretive organization, you're worried about how to combat what you know of the CIA, versus if you come into this aware of it, we have a CIA, they have a KGB, we're both doing the same thing, let's figure out what their secrets are as opposed to just fighting everything on face value.
Yeah. Oh,
Cold War era. We can get into more fun stuff.
it all goes back to no.
Brennan, Naolin.
Oh my
It all
God.
goes back. Broke back. Now I'm done.
This is also the scene where we find out that Sigale doesn't like Brennan. We've already discussed that. We find out that Andarna grew and is no longer golden. We've already discussed her scales. Brennan doesn't think that their mom is to be trusted, so he's warning Violet when she goes back. This, I think, validates a lot of Violet's feelings about her mom, that this isn't just Violet's perception. This is also Brennan's perception. And Mira, at the very beginning, the book is the only time that we really get a feel for what Mira thinks of her mom. And even that was just, Mom, this is a stupid-ass decision that you're making. But that's really all we get from Mira.
So, and as a perspective note here, I would like to add, it's not unusual for your children to be under a misconception about why you're doing things.
Well, I mean, she did send Violet to her death without explaining why.
When?
Going out onto the parapet.
She didn't send her to her death. She made sure she had grippy shoes.
No, she didn't. Mira did.
Oh, whatever. She knew Mira would take care of her.
Oh, see, these are all great
Listen,
reasons to
all
not
I'm saying
trust
is
Mom.
She knew Violet would make it across. She wasn't surprised that Violet made it across. She's like, that bitch is a survivor.
No, I think it was either way my daughter's going to die. I hope she just dies later and not right now.
So I respectfully disagree, only because later on there's an unsent letter to her husband at the time. And it says, I'm going to make sure our fucking kids are tough and strong and able to survive. I will make sure that they are taken care of.
Yeah, but if they don't make it across the parapet, I guess they were never going to
I
be
don't think it
strong
was
enough.
even an option. I think that
Violet could have fell.
No, she was as aware of Violet's plot armor as we were. She's
Oh.
like, she's got the crazy hair. She doesn't die in this. Her mom knows. I don't know why. I'm really defensive of the mom.
I know.
Internally, I want to be, and I think it's maybe
The
back to
only-
because my mom also wasn't super affectionate, and I'm like, no, she loved me. I promise.
The only thing that would help in this situation for her mom is if we were to find out that Xaden, because of the deal he made with her mom, that he had shadows surrounding her while she was going across the parapet. Therefore, the mom knew with 100% certainty. But as far as we knew, Violet went across the parapet all by herself with no assistance, nothing. And her mom was willing to risk her life.
That's fair. I do hear where you're coming from. All I'm saying is, let's give Lilith a bit of a break. You know,
She gets a break later.
she's
As of right
she's just
now.
now entered single motherhood. You know, she's trying to run an army. She's got a lot on her plate.
She's not raising either of her kids right now. Get out of here.
Violet's barely 20 years old.
Get out of here.
Still
So
kind of-
Brennan warns Violet about their mom and that he questions that she was part of the war games. And others are the ones who point out that their mom wasn't actually there when the orders were given for the games. I think it was one of her friends that say this and point it out.
Oh, it was some random dude. This is my favorite. Because Violet's like, this fucking cadet that I don't know is like, actually, she wasn't there, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody's like, shut the fuck up, you're not involved. And he's like, okay, dokie. And then he moves off. He's like a little exposition character that is not fourth wall breaking in exposition, just straight up in that moment provides exposition for our characters and then leaves again.
Well, it's good because it validates what Violet is saying or what others are saying, that Mama Sorringale did not know about any of this.
Yeah, I think it was awesome. The only downside is we know that dude's going to get murdered.
They see the dragons. She sees Andarna. She's just like, oh my fucking God, she's huge. Like, what is this? And where it pissed me off that Xaden didn't tell her earlier. I can see where it's probably better that she finds out now rather than earlier, because she just would have been worried and upset until she could see Andarna. Instead, her worry didn't begin until she saw Andarna.
Hey, why are we worried about the aesthetics of Andarna when Andarna's personality shifted 270 degrees?
Yeah, and I kind of felt bad for Violet because she...
Felt bad for Tarin. He's the one that's had to deal with this bullshit the whole time Violet's been asleep. And he's like, yeah, don't worry, she's just a fucking teenager now.
I love their relationship, Andarna and Tarin. It is super cute. And I think this is when we even get her first snarky comment of Andarna wakes up, she's crabby, and seems a little bitter. Then Violet says, "Can you carry her?" And Tarin is deeply offended.
Andarna's funny. It reminds me of our own daughter sometimes, when she's in a bad mood and she's snarky. And a part of you's like, quit being such a butthole. And then the other part of you's like, but you're so funny.
Oh, it also reminded me of when she wasn't feeling good. And then I took her to the doctor and you're texting me like, "Hey, how's she doing?" I'm like, "She's doing okay, but she's getting a little mean."
Yeah, well, this is kind of the thing. It cracks me up to no end because the way Andarna is written is so perfect for anecdotally our experience with a teenage girl.
Yeah, you love them. They're so much fun. And even their sass is still so much fun, but yet you're a little scared.
Yeah, the wit doesn't go away just because they're in a bad mood. Now it's just turned against you. You're like, oh, okay, all right. This is the game we're playing.
Chapter 3, we learn in the excerpt that dragons only first bonded to protect their hatchlings. This hasn't been something that's been going on for forever, or even something that it seemed like the dragons really wanted other than for their own selfish needs, and vice versa.
It was 600 years ago, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
They sneak into Bisgayeth. Xaden is on thin ice, and they talk about her shielding Dain.
Wait, hold on. They didn't sneak into Bisgayeth.
They kind of did.
No, they just dropped him off, and the dragons are like, we got to go back to the Vale for a bit.
Yeah, I thought it was a little more stealthy than that.
Tarin is not a stealth critter. We've learned this. If you chose to come in daylight, they saw Tarin coming. Like, there's no way.
They heard him.
Can you imagine security being lax enough at a goddamn war college to sneak a dragon in? Like, what are they looking out for if they don't see Tarin coming? Oh, well, I don't know. It's the size of 50 griffins. Could be anything. Should we worry about that? Nah.
I think it's kind of far away and in a valley, a big open meadow for...
And then they walked the rest of the way into Bisgayeth?
Yes.
You think he dropped them off there like, hey, don't bring me up to school. Drop me off at the corner so nobody sees you. No way. I think it was a quick, like, okay, we're going to drop off real quick. Now, Xaden, it could have been a flyby where he just used his shadow lasso, you know, and he was like, whoop, just sliding down the rope like a fireman.
That would be really cool.
And then the song comes on. He's like, I came in like a wrecking ball. And he's just sliding on the rope. He rolls down to the bottom. Violet trips. It would be so awesome. Oh, man. Go ahead. You were saying something serious.
They talk about Dain, what a tool he is, I guess, and that she needs a shield against him. Violet grabs Liam's letters, gives them to Rhiannon, and this is kind of where Rhiannon and Violet's relationship starts to get a little rocky.
Oh, it started last book.
Oh, did it? I thought it was really this one because Violet just came back.
She was still keeping secrets from Rhiannon.
Like what?
Like the knowing that the marked ones are having meetings and blah, blah, blah. And she brings up, like, I can't tell Rhiannon these things. And Rhiannon's like, hey, why don't you just be honest with me? And Violet's like, I promise if there's something you can help with, I'll tell you.
You're right.
And yeah, no, this started before. Violet is to Rhiannon as Xaden is to Violet.
And that is why I have little pieces of Xaden's pissing me off with his bullshit. But at the same time, I get it. And deep down, Violet also gets it.
Yeah, versus just saying, I can't be honest with you. I cannot tell you. That is the thing that Xaden is doing so much better than Violet in this. When he says, I'll tell you anything, and then he kind of changes it later into anything about me. Which I don't like that he retroactively changed his agreement, but whatever.
The whole time he's technically being honest, as opposed to Violet.
He lied the one time where he said he would tell her anything she wants to know and everything she doesn't, and he didn't finish that statement with about me. That was a lie, because he then later changes it to something else. Now, what I would say is the way Violet is just lying to Rhiannon, as opposed to saying, I really can't tell you, but this is important to me. I still love you. We're just not at a point yet where I can share this, but hopefully soon. That would be the way to do this.
And what do you think Rhiannon would think of that, though?
I think Rhiannon knows she's being lied to now. I don't think it changes anything. I think she would say, oh, fuck. Well, at least Violet is considering what she's doing.
Yeah.
And at least she isn't trying to do something backhanded toward me. I think that's the thing. Usually, if you're having this interaction with somebody, your immediate reaction is to assume it's about you, because you are perceiving their actions as from them to you, not from them into the world.
And this happens later where Rhiannon does think it's about her. She's like, oh, I thought it was because I was picked as squad leader or something like that. And they have this heart to heart. And that does
But it's not even really a heart to heart. It's a heart to Violet and Violet to her heart. Because Violet, again, is not honest.
Yeah.
And she doesn't just say, I can't talk to you about it yet. And also saying, hey, somebody very high up in this place threatened to murder my goddamn family if I share this with you. That's all you would need to say.
Yeah, that's actually solid. But they don't have that relationship to be able to have that.
They only don't have that because Violet keeps fucking lying. That's it.
Well, when she lies, she still puts the blame on Xaden by saying, Xaden, how do you lie to others? Like a way to throw shade at him for what she's doing.
So he does it so effortlessly. Fuck him. And I'm like, you just appear to be strained. You're just doing a worse job at the same thing.
I'm a terrible liar. I couldn't do this.
Here's the thing. I'm not a good liar, but I don't put myself in a position to lie. I'm very comfortable saying, oh, I don't want to have this conversation with you. Like, I am almost famous for being this abrasive.
I had 2 awkward moments this last week where I couldn't do either. I'm like, I'm just going to stop talking. And then it's so much worse. I should have just been like you and been like, yeah, I'm not having this conversation. Never mind. Instead, I'm just sitting there with this awkward face of, we're just going to grin and bear it and deal with the awkwardness of me being incapable of handling this awkward situation I put myself in.
Again, it's not an unusual thing. We all have those moments, right?
Just me more than others.
I don't think so. I think everybody has all these awkward situations they're in. And I don't think that Violet's approach to this is unusual, right? To lie, there's a term of white lie for a reason. But life is simpler by just saying, oh, no, and then just not doing it. It is so easy. I love that. Sometimes I have customers that they'll try to talk to me about things that are none of my business. And I'm very good about, oh, this isn't my thing. Thanks. And then I just do something else.
And just start on the saw, even though you have nothing to chop.
100%.
Well, it's after that whole discussion with Rhiannon that Xaden and Violet are having their one-on-one talk. And Xaden pisses me off. This is when he adds the qualifier of, oh yeah, I meant that for me. You can ask me. And I spent how long looking into this, because in my little world, I'm like, little did you know, Xaden, Jacinia documented what you said. We're going to go back and see what Jacinia wrote down about what you told Violet on that day. And I go and I look, and it's all a technicality. Xaden didn't say only about me, but he also didn't say not
only about me.
Yeah.
Well, I think, though, the difference is one of those is a necessary statement to make as a qualifier. Normally you can't prove a negative, right? Other than, I think if people are adding qualifiers in post-conversational method, then you're wrong. That's all there is to it. Xaden was wrong on this one.
Yeah.
And I love how much effort you put into this. You went and annotated, you highlighted, you Googled. You were really gunning for the Mari, or what's that guy? Used to be a show when we were kids, and they would get crazy people on the TV. There was always some weird thing where, like, my brother's cousin is my sister's wife, or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
What was that one called?
I think the Murray Show.
No, that's the one I was going for initially, but I think that's based off of the other guy. Curly hair, glasses, died a couple years ago. Jerry Springer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
you were going full Jerry Springer research on him. Survey says that was a lie.
Yeah. Yeah, I should
We tested your records, and they said
I should do a survey on, would you consider this a lie? In Fourth Wing, Xaden says, I'll tell you anything you want to know and everything you don't. I'll spend every single day of my life earning back your trust. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not like here in a few lines later, he says, only about me. No, he doesn't. Now we're in Iron Flame, and she says, you are going to tell me everything once I can properly shield, right? It's what you promised in your bedroom. Anything you want to know and everything you don't, those were your words. And Xaden's like, well, look, that is...
I like you went from quoting to immediately going colloquialisms.
And then he says, everything about me. And she's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, she's completely correct in this spot.
100%. I think this is lying. Adding this qualifier. Well, I guess it depends on how you word it. I see it as omission. You worded it as a qualifier. And...
because he didn't omit.
He didn't omit.
He did not omit something. He moved the goalpost.
Yeah.
Therefore, it is a qualifier. Therefore, it was a lie.
Oh, you do see that still as a lie?
I do. I see his initial statement as a lie because, let me ask you a question. If I had said that to you.
You right? Never would, because I would never allow this.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying. If I had said, I'll tell you everything, right? Everything. That's how I land this statement at. If you had asked me just from that statement alone, then you had asked me about something that had to do with, let's say, a friend of mine. And I would say, oh, I can't tell you that. Would you say that the statement I made about telling you everything was true or false? If this is the only thing, prior to his second addition onto this, the qualifier as to what would be considered telling you everything meant something different initially. Then you added a qualifier. And now it's removed this whole section of possible questions that you would get answers to.
Yeah.
Therefore, it makes the first statement is inaccurate because of the addition of the second statement.
Yeah.
So it was a lie.
I think it's a lie.
Yeah.
But
I don't think anybody's going to debate that one with us.
I think it's a lie by our standards of trust. It is.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do see where on technicality, it's not. And in this situation, him answering questions about other people could risk her life. And I can see where I would make decisions like that in order to save you and the kids' lives.
Okay, so I'm not saying whether or not it's a justifiable lie. What I am saying is, if you say, can you give me a ride to the airport? Is your question to me. I say, yes. Wednesday rolls around, right? It's been a couple days. And then you say, hey, I need a ride to the airport Thursday. And I say, I would give you a ride on Tuesdays or Saturdays, not on Fridays.
That's a good analogy
Thursdays.
Of what happened.
You've changed what your initial statement was. Now, was it a lie that I would give you a ride to the airport? In general, no. Is it in use case and in spirit a lie? Yes.
Because you knew you could only give a ride to the airport on those days when you said it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I purposefully hid my intentions in a way to assuage whatever concerns you had in that initial time where I'm saying I will tell you everything.
Yeah, now you're getting me all riled up.
And then you
about
didn't
him.
spend every day earning back their trust. What'd you do today, Xaden? Like, fuck, man. You're not working that hard. Go ahead. That's all of the Xaden hate I've got probably for most of these chapters, actually. Actually, any of these chapters.
Well, he explains it away, saying he will always have secrets, but wants her to ask anything about him, because if she does that, then she will trust him to always be honest and only keep secrets that are important to keep, is what I got from it.
But he doesn't trust her is what this is saying, right? By saying that I will always have secrets means that I will never be able to trust you with everything I know, which is a problem.
I took it as there are some secrets that are not his to tell because they were shared with him.
Is there a secret that I could keep from you?
No, but that's why someone shouldn't share secrets with you if they don't want me to find out.
Yeah, but this is my point. They should go into it knowing this is the case. Him saying I will always have secrets means he's going to continue to take secrets from other people and not share them with her.
Oh, I guess I took this as he's not going to continue to take secrets that he can't keep from her.
Well, what secret would he have that she would never find out about that he's currently aware of?
I don't know.
Like, that can't be. She knows about your rebellion. She knows about the wyvern. What is left that is so important to you outside of something that has to do with him? Because the only other big secret reveal we get is literally about him.
What if it's about Brennan and Naolin, and he knows secrets about that Brennan's not ready to talk about yet?
Yeah, tough shit. You tell your wife. Like, or whatever,
They're not married. They're not even in a relationship.
Oh, they are. Nobody puts up with this much shit if it's not a relationship.
Yeah,
they can refuse to call it whatever they want, but nobody is like, I'm sticking with this person, even though they're in no way that important to me.
They're not in enough of a relationship to share secrets about Bodhi that Bodhi has shared with Xaden about Bodhi's life.
Yeah, guess what? If Violet asks what the fuck's going on with Bodhi, he doesn't need to say, this is one of the secrets if it isn't about me. He could be like, hey, we've been together for years. Okay, after they've been together 10 years, what could Bodhi have possibly told Xaden that Violet just could not know?
But they haven't been together for 10 years. We're talking about right
says,
now.
I will always. That's my issue. It isn't that he's currently keeping some secrets. It's when he adds the qualifier that I will always have secrets.
Okay.
He's saying, I will never be able to trust you with everything. No? Do you see where I'm going with that?
Because I still have his quote here. Look, I will answer any question you want to ask about me. Gods, I want you to ask, to know me well enough to trust me even when I can't tell you everything. Oh my God, because as of right now, he still knows it, but we haven't actually got to the point where Violet learns about him and her mom's deal.
Correct.
Xaden, this is a great fucking time to share that.
He said, I will work to earn back your trust every day for the rest of my life. Proceeds to put in absolutely zero effort. And he says, you know what? If you work on asking me the right questions, I will give the minimum effort, which is providing answers.
But she has to ask? Who thinks to ask? Do you and my mom have a secret deal that nobody else knows about?
She's like, I don't know what fucking questions to ask. It's the old adage of, you know, when you get a new job, right? And they're like, if you have any questions, just ask. And they give you the bare minimum amount of information. It's always setting somebody up for failure because nobody knows which questions to ask.
Yeah.
When you're first starting something. The only thing you can gather from that is how inquisitive is the person? How comfortable are they asking questions? And Violet is really not great about asking questions so far.
I think she's great at asking questions. There's just no way she would have reason to believe to ask even this one about her mom and Xaden having some deal because of the absurdity surrounding it.
I think you're right, but I'm looking at this from Genie. Let's say you and I had this exact interaction. The first question I'm asking is, which question could I possibly ask you at this moment that you would want to answer the least? That is, it's Genie rules, right? You're trying to work your way around things because he's also playing this weird spot where he kind of half-assed wants to answer things, but he also is like, oh, I hope she doesn't think to ask that. You're like, come on, dude, chill out.
It is exactly like that, isn't it?
Yeah, so if she had asked, like, hey, what's a secret that you know that makes you nervous that I won't love you anymore? What is this?
And then she has to keep asking that question because he'll answer it one time. And then she'll think, I don't need to ask that again. When really, she does. And she needs to keep asking it until there's literally an end of answers to that question.
Yeah. Xaden, what makes you dislike yourself right now? I'm not going to lie. I think this would be beatable if you gamify this a little bit. But I also see it as, wow, what labor to put this woman through. She was just in a coma.
So far, this is the first time we run into him playing this game with her. It continues to happen for some time.
It's the worst part of this book.
But it validates all of Violet's feelings. See, I had notes about, well, I'm kind of with Xaden on this. There's secrets that are worth keeping from her because it protects her life. I would do that. You would do that for me. Therefore, Xaden's not... They're on even playing grounds right now. And you got me all riled up again.
Oh, okay. This is my fault, not Xaden's. I see.
It's you.
Okay, I can accept that.
As we're reading.
I'm sorry that I encouraged us to read this book again. Oops.
As Xaden pisses me off, it's actually just getting taken out on you.
What I love is I'm responsible for the dumb shit Xaden does, but I get no credit for the horniness. Never does Xaden do something sexy and you're like, hey, big guy, come here. And so it's like, oh, fucking Xaden, men suck. And I'm a part of men, but I'm never a part of sexy shadow daddiness. I'm feeling a little gypped.
That did cheer me up because I'm still pissed at Xaden right now. It reminds me of like when you have those dreams of your partner cheating on you and you wake up upset at them.
Those dreams. I don't have those dreams.
Well, someone in the relationship does.
It could be any of us. It could be either of us, just not me.
And I wake up and I'm all upset at you because you cheated on me or you did something that pissed me off. Oh, the most recent dream that I had where you pissed me off was we're in the purge. People are coming into the home to kill our family and the kids aren't listening. They're playing video games. I'm like, get out of here. And they're just like, no, it's not the end of the match right now. And I'm yelling for you and you're not listening. So I woke up pissed that you put our family's life at risk because you weren't listening. And you're like, I'm going to go make some coffee.
For you, I might add.
Yeah, for me.
This is the funniest part about this to me. I think it's totally reasonable that you'd be this upset with the person who looked like me in your dream. Is how I'm going to word that. Because that's not me. I listen so well.
You do. You are such a good partner. You're so amazing.
I don't mean it like that.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean it like that. I don't need the head pats. I'm just suggesting, like, it's funny because in this dream, I would say it's pretty rare that you would have to ask me to do anything. Generally, if you hint at a desire you have, I'm getting up and handling it. And you're like, not in this dream. This useless motherfucker was going to let us all die. So there I was playing Fortnite in real life, purging everybody. While the kids and I are playing a video game.
But I think this is why I get so frustrated with Xaden for Violet. Because in my little world, if you knew something that I would want to know, you just come home and start it off. That's the conversation. Like, hey, this is what we're going to talk about right now. I don't need to ask.
I'm also not good at tea, though.
No,
in fairness,
you're not.
I don't do details of people's business.
Chapter 3, he says that he's always going to have lies or something like that.
I'll always have secrets. He doesn't say I'll always have lies.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
She threatens to unfall in love with him if she doesn't get the full and total honesty.
And he calls her out immediately he's like, yeah, good fucking luck. I tried to get you to do that. That's my favorite part. She's like, I'll fall out of love as easy as I fell into it. He's like, no, you fucking won't.
Yeah, he often tells her, like, you love me.
Yeah, and then he immediately gets insecure whenever she isn't actively telling him that she's going to fall out of love. But he's like, this woman used to be mine, could be mine, will be mine, might be mine. Like, he's all over the place. And then when she's actively like, you know what, fuck you, I don't love you anymore. And he's like, you do. His confidence is wild.
But in his head, he's having a complete meltdown. She even threatens to sleep with other men. And he's like, no, you won't. But I know, based off of how the last 3 chapters went in the last book, he is falling apart. Like, she wouldn't really do that, would she? Or the fact that he needed reassurance from Garrick that Liam won't sleep with her.
To be fair, I think she missed a great opportunity, right? Liam would have been such an incredible lover. I'm jealous that I didn't get a chance. You know, all I'm saying is, it should have been Xaden. Now I'm done. Like your mama's cheeks, we gotta split this one.
We got a little long-winded there, so we're gonna make a part 2.
I'll see you in part 2, motherfuckers. It was a great time. We had fun. Now get out and go live your life.
No, wait. No. Thank you all for listening. We appreciate and love you all. Please follow us here, TikTok or Instagram at Yarros.Podcast.
And then go live your life.
Bye.
Bye. Get out. We're done. This was Daggers and Shadow Daddies. Now it's my time. Toodaloo. It was fun for us. I hope it was fun for you. But that's all we've got. Goodbye. Come back in a few days. We love you.